everyone. Welcome to Midweek. I hope this week is a good one. Less ice, less snow. So for those of you who don't like ice and snow, this is a good week for you. For those of you who love snow like myself, I'm just hoping for at least one more storm. But until then, I want to talk to you today about perspective. Perspective, you can look at that from a lot of different ways. You can look at it from the angle. I want to talk today about the perspective you get when you move from ground floor up to 10,000 feet. I was having a conversation this week with two translator families. One is in the area of Papua New Guinea, one is in the area of the Congo. And as I was interacting with them, I realized that when you're doing translation work, you're on the ground floor, you're into the minutia, you're into detail. I mean, the attention of detail that they give is incredible. And sometimes it's affected, like it is right now in the Congo, with some turmoil. And in Papua New Guinea, there's other factors. And as I was talking with one of the families, I asked this question: what do you do to sustain a level of encouragement? Because when you're down there in the minutia at the ground floor, it's like, man, you are locked into details. I mean, you might spend an entire day almost on a verse, trying to translate it correctly, looking at all the different nuances. It struck me as I was talking with them. I said, I want to move us up to 10,000 feet. You have a team in Papua New Guinea, there's a team in Congo, we saw last week there's a team in Nepal. And I began to think, I wonder, and somebody has this, I don't know the number, I wonder how many active translations are kind of being done right now. How many projects all over the world. And I imagined them, though they don't work together, I imagined them as one team. One team translating the Bible, helping us to realize Revelation 7:9, where every tribe and every tongue is going to be represented in heaven. And I realized that when I look at it at the ground floor, I see the details of one translation. When I look at it at the ground floor, I see all of the challenges in a given country. When I go up to 10,000 feet, and I'm not going to take a Delta flight because that's dangerous, but if I go up to the 10,000 foot level, I begin to see an entire team of people doing what? Moving us towards the crescendo of Christ's return. See the difference? One, I see all the details. I see all the challenges. I see chapter and verse. When I get to the 10,000 foot level, I see a team of people. I see movement towards the return of Christ. And I realize that sometimes you have to move yourself in terms of perspective. Sometimes as a parent, you begin to focus only on that which is in front of you, your child, their work. But when you move up to the 5,000 foot level or the 10,000 foot level, you begin to see other factors, other people playing a difference in your son, your daughter, other people pouring in. You begin to see the team, and you begin to see the network and the web that God is putting together around your son, your daughter. Perspective change is helpful because sometimes it takes me out of just the minutia of the present moment, which sometimes can be very discouraging, sometimes can be frightening. Sometimes we see our children taking a direction and they're moving in a certain direction, and we're mindful that it seems to us like it's going to be a direction that's going to ultimately bring real heartache to them and maybe even worse. But when I move myself up, I begin to see not just the assignment, not just the child. I begin to see the network of God. I begin to see the people pouring in. I was just aware of that this week, of a given situation of some people on the team playing a role in a certain student's life. And I was aware that if I look at the one journey of this student, it's not all that encouraging. But when I look at the broader scope of the people pouring in and a part and praying and investing, all of a sudden I see, God, you are at work in a marvelous way. If I look at the very minutiae of a translation, one translation that I looked at this week was 20 years in the making. But when I get up to the 10,000 foot level, I see an army of translators under the direction of the Holy Spirit moving us towards that great day of Christ's return. Perspective. Sometimes I need to change that because it gives me different hope. It helps me see the same thing in a different light. I hope you can do that. Sometimes I think some of you, all of us, we get locked into this and we're just about the gritty details of the day. Periodically take a walk. Just move yourself up to the 10,000 foot level and ask, God, what are you doing on the broader scale and how does it shape me looking at this specific assignment differently? Perspective. You get down in the valley, all you see is the dirt right in front of you. You get up on the mountaintop, you see the ocean. That's really what God invites us to do periodically, is take a journey up, change your perspective, and it changes the way your heart thinks about what God's doing. I was so encouraged by my little week of hanging out with some translators, because as I thought about them all in different countries, I realized they're all on the same team. They might not even know each other, but they're on God's team, and they're working God's favor and God's will. And that was very encouraging to me. Gentlemen, this weekend we have a men's conference. There's a ton of us going. We're going to meet here at 8:15. We're going to make our way down to the convention center. It is a day, and you think, I don't have a day. Yeah, you do. I'm busy. I'm busy with you. But I'll tell you, I hope you'll come and join. We really almost got the price down to $0. So there's going to be an address on the website that you can go to and sign yourself up. It's not too late. And again, sign up. Let's be together for the day. I can't wait to spend the day with you. We're going to meet here at 8:15 and march our way down to the convention center. So I hope you guys can make it. And by the way, it is so cheap. Bring a friend. We have plenty of space. We can expand it. I don't know how many are going to be there. Probably 700, 800, 900, maybe 1,000. I don't know what the ultimate number is going to be. But the reality is, all I really care, to be quite honest with you, is our guys. We get to be there together. So I hope you'll sign up and come. It's going to be a special time. This weekend, we are back in Jude. We have the third of 4 little vignettes in that moment. And I can't wait to get to the last part where Jude is talking. He goes, now to him who is able to keep you from stumbling. What an encouraging thing. Whatever battle we face, whatever false teachers come and all the difficulty, we ultimately end in that place. God, you are able to keep me from stumbling, my family from stumbling, and our church from stumbling. Be encouraged. God's in this thing with us. And change your perspective, and then you're going to see further, and you're going to be deeply encouraged. God bless you. Have a great week. We'll see you soon.